You know, the preseason is behind us, and I think we are all much better for it. But with the preseason being done, that just means the regular season is coming up very soon, which means roster cut down day is here. On today's show, we're going to talk about a couple of cuts that the Ravens have already made. Then I'm going to give you my 53-man roster projection just about 24 hours until those roster projections have to be finalized by Baltimore. The cut started early this morning. Jeff Zreback tweeted out the following. It sounds like the Ravens made a few cuts for their practice at 1 p.m. today, but per usual, they'll do most of their moves as close to 4 p.m. Tuesday as possible. Undrafted free agent offensive tackle Reed Holsky was a part of this morning's roster cuts. And let's be real, I don't think this surprises anyone. Reed Holsky was one of those guys that they're very high on when they brought him in as an undrafted free agent, but the offensive tackle depth, it's already there for Baltimore. It's the interior of this offensive lineman that really needs a little bit more depth, and unfortunately, Reed doesn't fall in that category. And also, let's be frank, the Ravens are already going to take enough undrafted free agents on this roster. I don't know if there was a room for a fourth. I went back at Jeff and asked him, hey, look, you only said one name, but you said multiple cuts. Anybody else? And he very kindly responded. He believes Baylor Cup, tight end, was a part of that group. Don't have the entire list at the moment. Frankly, I'm not sure it's more than a couple. So as all that we know right now, Baylor Cup, Reed Holsky, the two cuts that have been made by Baltimore so far. And the reason is because we know Baltimore likes playing things very close to the vest. We went through this exact same thing last year. Guess who was the final team to release their 53-man roster projections? And I would know because I had to stay at work until they did it. It was the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, they don't like to leak cuts. They don't really like to make many moves before they have to tomorrow. But as we know right now, two cuts have been made, Reed Holsky and Baylor Cup. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Okay, multiple reasons. Number one, we've got roster cut down day tomorrow. It's going to be a very busy week, some signings, some cuts. So make sure you're locked in with us. Get those notifications on as well so whenever we drop a video, that way you'll be the first one in here. Also, this is our final call for this sub-battle against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, training camp is over, but I want to shine some light on this because we're only down 7 subs to Steelers Talk. So if you haven't joined us yet, today is the perfect day to do so. Hit that big red sub button. It's 100% free. Helps us take down the Steelers. Alrighty, now on the Ravens rundown. Let's move to what you all have been waiting for, my 53-man roster projection. We're going to go all the way from 1 to 53, starting with the quarterbacks all the way down to the specialists. And a little bit of a reminder, okay, 53 men, 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. That's when Baltimore has to turn it into the NFL. That doesn't mean that's when we'll know what the 53-man roster is. That just means they have to have it finalized by 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Starting with the quarterbacks. This one should be no surprise to anybody. Lamar Jackson will take up that first spot. Cooper Rush will be the QB2 on this roster and take up that second spot. And look, I have much more faith in Cooper Rush than I did before. Going into the preseason, I was high on him as a backup. I thought it was far better than the backup quarterback situation this team had in 2024. And then he played that first game against the Colts. Kind of looked like me out there playing football. And I lost a little bit of faith in him. Well, he played really, really good these past 2 weeks, especially on Saturday against the Commanders. And let's be frank, if it's getting down to Cooper Rush, this season might not be going somewhere great anyway. To the running backs we go. I think they take 4 here. And that's not just a hunch. That's not just a guess. It's an educated guess because John Harbaugh is all but pretty much guaranteed it. Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell, and Rasheen Ali. And I'll be real with you, I absolutely love this room, okay? I like those guys a lot. We know that when Derrick Henry's in the game, when he's in this offense, he's going to be the lead back. He's going to be the bell cow of this group. But I love Justice Hill as a pass-catching option. I love Keaton Mitchell as a go-to guy right behind Derrick Henry when it just comes to 3 yards in a cloud of dust, handing off the football. And then I like really Rasheen Ali and what he can give you in the special team game as well. And that is where John Harbaugh is so high on him, okay? He's tweeted out, I think that he's proven to be a good back in the preseason, and he's been a big part of special teams right now. He's starting on special teams right now, so something would have to change for that not to be the case. So, dynamic kickoff returner, he's on the punt team, he's on the punt return team, he's on the kickoff team. He can do everything. And because of that, because he made himself useful outside of just the running back room. He's going to make this roster. Also, shout out producer Reed, Sarah Ellison, looking a little bit different these days, but we'll move forward in the wide receivers. Zay Flowers, Rashod Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins, Devontez Walker, Tylan Wallace, and LaJohntay Wester. I think they take 6. And I'm going to be honest with you, of every single position group on this roster, it feels like wide receiver is the one that will have the least amount of arguing for who's going to make that roster, okay? It feels like it's cut and dry. It feels like this is the 6. Nobody really has anything else to say about it. Last year, there's a little bit more dialogue, right? Dayton Wade, Deontay Hardy. I was super fired up about that. Well, I thought that was maybe going to be the case with Dayton Wade and LaJohntay Wester. Wester has proved to be the best of those two, so that's the 6 they roll with. Really excited to see those guys, those dynamic playmakers in this dynamic offense, of course. Okay? We already have 2 cuts. They're already in. And we've made some cuts already with this roster projection. You let me know in the comment section down below. Name a Raven you think is getting cut. And I'm not talking like a UDFA, some guy who never played in the preseason. I want you to get spicy in the comment section right now. Let's go to the tight end room / fullback room, okay? Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Charlie Kolar, and Patrick Ricard are the 4 we're taking. Obviously, those top 3 in the tight end room, Patrick Ricard, he will be the fullback on this roster. But I think this is where it gets interesting. And I feel like this is the first part of this roster projection that gets a little bit interesting. Because you have to ask the question, will Isaiah Likely be on injured reserve, or will they put him on the 53? When he originally got his surgery, everything we heard and everything they told us was like, hey, look, he's going to be ready to go week 1. That's the goal. We haven't heard much progress on his recovery, so we don't know if he's going to be ready to go week 1. They could put him on IR, give them an extra 53-man roster spot, but he wouldn't be able to go until week 5. And we all know that the way this season starts out, okay, with Buffalo, then Cleveland, then Detroit, and then Kansas City, it's going to be a tough stretch. You're going to want him on this roster. You're going to want him eventually, even if he misses the first 2 weeks. So in my opinion, I think he's going to be on the 53-man, and he's going to avoid injured reserve. Let's round out the offense with the big boys up front. Ronnie Stanley, Andrew Voorhees, Tyler Linderbaum, Daniel Faalele, and Roger Rosengart. If you look at the left side of your screen, that's how I think it's going to be the starting offensive lineman from left tackle down to right tackle. And then you get to the depth. Carson Vincent, Ben Cleveland, Corey Bullock, Joseph Noteboom, 9 total offensive linemen. If you realize that's different than it was last year, okay? They took 10. I think they're going to take more in other positions like the secondary. That leaves only 9 on the offensive line. And, of course, they took 4 in the running back room. Daniel Faalele, I'm ready to say it right now. Let's just get over it. He will be the starter on this roster. They've all but confirmed it. I mean, he didn't even play this last week in the preseason. That told me all that I needed to see and all that I needed to know. And I know a lot of people want Ben Cleveland. They wish Ben Cleveland got a little bit more of a fair shot, but we don't see all the reps in practice, okay? All we see is the preseason. And apparently Ben Cleveland didn't show them enough in training camp to warrant him being a starter over Daniel Faalele. Who would you rather start out of those 2, though? Is it Faalele or is it Cleveland? Let me know in the comment section down below by getting those initials, okay? So if you'd like Faalele to be the starter, give me a DF. And if you would like Ben Cleveland to be the starter, go ahead, get down there, and give me a BC. While you're down there, you're going to find the link, prizepicks.com/CLNS. I dare you to click it if you like free things, if you like great deals, and if you like having fun while watching football, then you will. This episode's brought to you by Prize Picks. Preseason football is over, and now college football is officially started. So don't miss any of the action this season on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. And like I said, college football week 1 is here this weekend, and I could not be more excited. The big game of the week, okay, College Game Day is going to be there. Ohio State, Texas. We see Arch Manning for the first time. And because of that, I think he's going to have a great game. Give me the more 1.5 passing touchdowns for Arch. I love Jeremiah Smith. Think he might be able to win the Heisman. I think he starts off with a great game against Texas. Give me the more in 77.5 receiving yards. And I'm not that high on Garrett Nussmeier, and I think Clemson's going to end up winning that game. So give me less than 278.5 passing yards for the Nuss bus. And also, if you don't really like college football, don't worry. The pro football is coming soon. Dak Prescott is getting a max discount from Prize Picks. All he has to do is throw them more half a passing yard. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, run your game. Again, you can find that link in the comments and description of today's video. Let's go to the big boys on the defensive side of the ball. Your defensive line shakes out as follows. This isn't, remember, only the interior. They run a 3-4. Nnamdi Madubuike, Travis Jones, John Jenkins, Broderick Washington, and Anais Peebles gets that final spot. Now, the depth, I'll admit, is questionable here. It was a lot better last season, okay? And we kind of have known that this was going to be the case for the entirety of this offseason, and yet this is what we're rolling in with going into 2025. Now, I love Nnamdi. Travis Jones, I think, is going to be the best interior defensive lineman you've got, and I really like the possibility and ceiling of Anais Peebles. However, I think it's ridiculous to say that this is going to be an all-star group of depth, okay? I think there's just going to be a little bit missing when you talk about the interior. Let's go outside linebackers, edge rushers, okay? Adafe Owe, Kyle Van Noy, Mike Green, Tavius Robinson, and David Ajabo. Now, I'm going to be real. I think the Adisa Isaac injury is what ultimately saved David Ajabo. Harbaugh said that Emory Jones won't be ready for week 1, but he also said that Adisa Isaac needs elbow surgery. This came last week and will start the season on IR. He'll be out until at least midseason. I saw a lot from Adisa Isaac that I liked in this preseason. Obviously, he's got a really high ceiling. He's young. He's got a lot of really good traits. But, unfortunately, he's proven to be pretty injury-prone in the National Football League. That remains true in this offseason, and he'll be out till at least midseason, which means David Ajabo does get that spot. Speaking of the interior and the exterior on that defensive line, how many sacks for the Ravens in 2025? They had the most sacks in 2023. They were a top 5 unit last year. Do they continue that dominance? And if so, let me know how many. To the inside linebackers we go. Roquan Smith, Trenton Simpson, Teddy Buchanan, and Jay Higgins. Those are the 4 that I'm rocking with, okay? Give me undrafted free agent Jay Higgins over Jake Hummel any day of the week. And I'm going to be pissed, okay? You can hear me right now if Jay Higgins doesn't make this final roster. Everything that he's shown us so far in this preseason has proved to me that he's at least worth giving him a shot, okay? And I get it. He's an undrafted free agent. And I get it. Jake Hummel's the guy you signed in free agency, but 15 tackles in the preseason. 1 tackle for loss, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception, a couple of pass deflections as well. I mean, he was everywhere. He was doing everything. I loved what I saw out of him. So because of that, I don't care if you sign Jake Hummel free agency and you're paying him more. Who cares? Cut him. Put the better player on the roster. We go to the cornerbacks now, and this is where they take 7, I believe. They took 6 last year, if I remember correctly. I think it's 7 this year. Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, Jair Alexander, Chidobe Awuzie, TJ Tampa, Keyon Martin, another UDFA makes it, and then Jalen Armour Davis at 46. Look, Martin deserves to be on this roster. Everything he showed us over these last 3 weeks has proved that to me. The safety against Dallas, the pick 6 against Washington, his block on special teams against Washington. He's just done everything so well. There are so few things that you can point out about his game and say, but I didn't like that. I don't think that was very good, okay? I've been really impressed by him. I think he's the second UDFA that makes it so far in my final projection. What do you think, okay? I've got 2. We got a couple more position groups to go, though. Might not be my last UDFA. How many UDFAs make this final roster? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let's go to the safety room. Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, Sanusi Kane, and Ruben Lowry, I think, make the final defensive side of this roster. Look, Lowry is in the same boat as Keyon Martin is, okay? He's a guy that deserves to make it. We've heard a lot more about Lowry throughout training camp, okay? He's caused a little bit more headlines. He hasn't had quite as good of games, I think, in the preseason as Keyon Martin has. And, like, at the end of the day, 3 UDFAs, yeah, it would be crazy. It would be wild. They usually only take one, and a lot of teams don't take any. But I don't mind one bit. Give me the best football players on this roster. I don't care what you're paying them. I don't want their contracts to be what determines if they make this roster or not. So just get the best guys out there because that's going to make this team the best. The specialists, okay, cannot forget to show love to them. Tyler Loop, Jordan Stout, Nick Moore. Those are my final 3 in the 53-man roster. Really excited about what Tyler Loop has been doing so far over this preseason. And, of course, Jordan Stout and Nick Moore as your punter and long snapper. Grade this roster for me. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comment section down below how you're feeling about it. I'm not going to lie, guys. I think it's an A. Maybe A- at worst, but I really love what Baltimore is rocking with going into this season. That'll be it for today's show. Make sure you got me on social media at Twitter and at Instagram at Joey Petersen 8 on both those platforms. More than anything, though, make sure you subscribe to the channel for daily updates on your Baltimore Ravens.